Hey, Dave from Phoenix Fruit Farm here this afternoon. This is going to be our second part of our maple syrup making operation, the tapping of the trees. So I brought my cinematographer along to help. There, say hi.
Anyway. Hello.
So I just going to show you. This is this huge tree here. We have several of them over here that are nice and big. These are probably well over 100 years old, and they're some of the best producers. You get these trees that have this big canopy on them, and they're out in the open a little bit where the sun hits them. They'll be the best trees you can get. Although I do have some that are over along a south and a west side of a field over here that aren't nearly as big and not nearly as much canopy as these, but they also produce really well. It really helps to have the sun hit them. So anyway, with that, I'm going to hand the camera over, and we're going to walk down here, and I'm going to show you how we're going to tap these trees. There you go. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to tap, put 4 bags on this tree here. You can see it has multiple branches. You could probably, as big as they are, I could probably put 8 of them on there, but we're not going to get hoggish. And if we get up here closer, I want to show you a few things. This tree is probably a 24-inch tree, and so it could handle 2 bags, but when you're going to tap your trees, you watch for where you tapped last year. Like, here's a spot from another year probably. You don't want to go directly below them or above them, because they do leave a kind of a, not actually dead, but they leave a kind of a spot where the sap doesn't flow as well. So what we're going to do is come over here to the side, like right about here, where there's no evidence of another one. And I bought this drill bit this year, and this is specifically for tapping maple trees. It makes a nice flat bottom and cleans out good. And I got the piece of tape on here set at 2 inches. They recommend you go 1.5 inches or 2 inches. And some of these trees with this heavier bark, I'll go in the full 2 inches, because you got 1/2 inch of bark on some of them. So anyway, just put it on there. And they also say, where I bought this bit, it says put them flat and straight, but in the past I've always read that you put a slight downward angle, and so I'm just sticking with that. And I usually will run this bit in and out a few times like that, just to get all that out of there, all that sawdust out of there from the bit. Because for one thing, the hole is 5/16, but the hole that comes out of this thing is only, a little over 1/8 of an inch probably.
See that from the side, David?
Yeah, that's where the bag hangs, is on that hook, and we got that little flangey thing that goes into the tree there. Kind of surprised this isn't running. I just tapped some, and they were starting to drip right away. I'm using this rawhide hammer. I have a plastic hammer, but I say I have it, but I don't know where it is. So I'm using this rawhide one, and the reason I use something softer than the tap, these are aluminum taps. You use a metal hammer, use them for a few years, you'll have them all peened up here, and not good. So anyway, of course, the hole is where your hook goes in like that, and it'll hang right there. I talked about these bag holders before. They're kind of nice. They're a 4-gallon bag, but of course, by the time you fold everything, when it gets up to here, you might get 3 gallons in it, probably. But I always try to dump them before they get too full anyway, but you don't know. Sometimes it don't work. They get to running over on you. So that's pretty much how we do her. If you look around, we got a few tapped already, and like I said this afternoon, when it was a little warmer, they started running right out of there as soon as they drilled the hole. So we'll just do a couple more around the tree here. All right. Looks like a good spot. There was a place where I did it. I think we're going to do it here. Yeah.
Now, it's been a cloudy day most of the day, David. Does that make a difference in how fast the sap flows, or is it more temperature?
Well, temperature, you really, the way the sap flows is mostly related to temperature, but you'd like it to get up to the 40s, mid 40s during the day. That makes the sap come up in the tree, and then you actually want it to get cooler at night, like probably below 30 would be ideal, or down the mid 20s even. And that causes the sap to come back down. So that's how you get your runs, when it's coming up and coming down both. So that's the best situation.
And when do you usually start to tap? Is this about
Well,
most of this year?
it is the 1st of March today. I could have probably did this even a week ago or so, but it hasn't been the greatest. It hasn't been the greatest weather for tapping, so we're just gonna. I just held off till now, and I might have lost a little. I tapped some trees yesterday, and I see some of them. I've got some of the trees. I've got almost a half a bag full of sap, so I might even be collecting sap tomorrow. Getting started here, so now here, come on over. This one here started to run as soon as I put it in there. Keep an eye on it. You'll see it'll start coming out of there in a minute. Or it should. It might not, just to prove me wrong.
That's never happened before.
No, it hasn't. No, just.
I'll look away, and then when I come back,
All right.
it'll start to drip. Here it comes.
Oh yeah, slow but sure, because it's cooled off a little bit. It was quite a bit warmer when I got out here, and now the wind is kind of switching to the northwest a little bit. So that means it's going to stop flowing for us. Some of them, when I tapped, they just started going like drip, 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 about as fast as they could drip. So as you can see, this one's just starting in.
Yeah.
It'll probably shut down here in an hour or so. Yeah.
And I know you've said this before. How many gallons of syrup or of sap does it take to make a gallon of syrup? What's your...
Well, we are dealing with soft maples when you're what they call a soft maple, which there's lots and lots and lots of different maple trees. But when you're talking about sugar maples, it'll take about 40 gallons of sap to make a gallon of syrup. But when you get into these trees that have quite a bit lower sugar content in the sap, these trees here are going to run probably around 2.5 to 3% sugar. And you get into the sugar maples, they'll run up between 5 and 6 even sometimes. So, yeah. So makes a lot of difference. So it takes just a lot more sap out of these than it does out of the others. So, but it tastes all the same. It's good. So all ends up at about 67% or so after I cook it down. So
from 2.5% to 67% sugar.
Yep.
That's how much water you have to.
Yeah, you're taking a lot of water out. And of course, we're going to get into that with the next video, which is going to be running it through my reverse osmosis system and cooking it down. So, we'll go on with that.
How long will you have to collect before you'll cook down your first?
Well, I'd like to get probably I'd like to get about 150 gallons of sap collected before I get started. So, okay, that's about going to do her for this one. Thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up. Share it if you like. Thanks. Bye.